Right, time for a quick audio check. Sorry for that. Right, time for a quick audio check. Yep. Sorry for the echo. All right, hello, good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to ALR. This is the let me get my bearings right. This is the Tier 6 Season 16 stream around Laguna Seca, round 4 of the championship. And we are going to join the sprint race. So we have 15 cars with us for this sprint, and I assume the same is the case for the race as well. So you may notice that I'm not the same commentator as is you. I'm not the usual commentator for Tier 6. So it is not Pagal Raja here, it is Simba. I'm the driver here and the commentator. So it'll be a little odd to refer to myself in third person, but we have a fantastic race ahead of us, a fantastic sprint race. So we have the Ferrari on pole. We have Tarles Jaden in the R8 in P2, a good quali. I believe it was a good quali. Can't exactly remember the lap times that were there for this Laguna Seca race. Then we have Blade Runner, fantastic quali in P3. He is in the Renault. IJF in the Lambo in P4, the ambulance Lambo. I believe there's another police cop Lambo further back. Michelle, of course, and the Subaru in P5. Thank you to him for uploading the replay, which I have saved here. I hope the audio is fine. Yeah, audio should be fine here. Denos in the other car is P6, and I believe he's the other Lambo, and he's changed his livery for this race. Gumb in the Porsche P7. Apocalypse is P8. Sorry if I butcher some of the names, by the way. I'll get used to them as time goes on. Gabo in the other Renault P9. This is one of my favorite liveries. This has been one of my favorite liveries for Tier 6 throughout the season, I must say. Gabo with a fantastic 2005-6 Mile 7 Renault vibe. Ellis, I believe he was a new driver in the Supra. He's P10. Bruce Beer in the other BRZ P11. My teammate Abhi in P12. And behind him is Fudo in P13. Nico in the Aston is P14, and right behind him is his teammate Inorganic, who is P15. So with that, that's the grid. That's the quali order. We're about to start the race. There you go. So we are going to have the lights go off, and that is a good start for the Ferrari driver. Further back, I see Audi and I see Gabo has got a pretty good start here, trying to slot in into a good position. Michelle a little further back. There's some contact there with Jaden. Blade Runner, Gabo, and multiple cars involved there, but I think everybody's got through without too many issues there. I see that is probably Jaden onto the gravel there. Some sand, and there's a bit of contact there, a bit of aji-baji with Gabo. I think they've gotten through without any issue there. Gumb into P3. A good start for him there. Gabo with a great start. He's up into P4 already. Challenging Gumb for the final 14th position for the sprint. He tries to go for a dive, but he decides against it. I think it was a good judgment call there. That would have been really problematic. Blade Runner is being chased after by Gumb. Gabo with a fantastic start. He's being tagged a little bit by Jaden. I think that may be a bit of tag there involved. And we have 12 laps in the sprint. Yeah, I think there's a lot that would happen in this race. Gabo goes a little bit deep there at the corkscrew. That may be a little bit of an issue there, as Jaden was pretty rapid in this race and will try to go for a move, and he will make the move because Gabo has gone for a little excursion off circuit there, and he has come back on track in P5. Sorry for that. Behind him is Ellis. I'm a little used to the F1 controls, not used to GD7 controls so much. Sorry for that. Denos maybe going for a dive, and Denos tries the dive. I think there's a little bit of contact there, but he doesn't have too many issues. And I see Udo and maybe it was his teammate who had a bit of an issue here. That the two Audis? It is the two Audis. Rich Energy. That's a bold livery call here. I think there may have been a bit of a dive here, or maybe Apocalypse went wide. Yep, that is the case. He was with a bit of contact, and Michel, he's not had a very good start. He's gone backwards there. As up front, let's have a look at Blade Runner, who is chasing after Simba. Gumb, who's chasing after Blade Runner. Let's have a look. So, Danos and Ellis making a bit of contact. Ellis slightly forced onto the gravel there, and there's some contact there for the two Audi cars. I think luckily neither of them have any damage from that little off. And this is a nice little battle here. A group of cars, as I see that Michelle made up a position or two. Sorry for that. Not very used to the camera switching in as the two Audis still line of stern. Michelle getting a good exit, but the VRC just lacks that outright straight line speed of the other cars. It is fantastic in the corners. That's why you'll see the VRC make up the most amount of time. Up front, let's have a look here. The two Audi cars going through the corkscrew. Let's see if there's any issues. There is an issue there for Jaden, who has had a bit of a spin there. Whatever happened to him? Oh, he just went deep and he locked the tires. So I hope he rejoins without causing any impediment to somebody else who may have had a bit of an issue there. And the Aston Villa car of Inorganic may have had a bit of a shock. Not an Aston Villa car, sorry, an Aston Martin car of Inorganic. But let's see. Nonetheless, we do carry on. Up front, Blade Runner still chasing after Simba, bumped in. And these two are very close. The two Audi cars, Apocalypse and Fudo. He may be going for a move here, the British driver, on his teammate. Let's have a look. Are the teammates? I think I'm making a bit of mistake here. There's two Audi cars, so I may be making a bit of a mistake here. Beaumont, Michelle in P8. A little bit further back, I think Nico and Rizvi may have had a bit of a run-in at turn 2, I believe this is, for Laguna Seca. Maybe let's have a look here. Nico went a bit deep there, was it? A mistake from my end. So Jaden on a recovery, he's behind IJF, who's himself had not a very good start. I believe he was P4 as Abhi is onto the gravel there, and that lets Inorganic pass into P12. Abhi having a pretty poor start to the sprint. He's in an unlucky P13 at the moment. And what's going on here between Ellis and Fudo? Fudo losing a position. Let's have a look at that again. He himself was onto the gravel there. So a fair few mistakes here. Let's have a look through the eyes of Apocalypse. Fudo onto the gravel, and that's a very problematic excursion off track. Michelle gets past as well. He will rejoin just ahead of Ellis, if I'm not wrong. Fudo and Ellis. Let's have a look from the cinematic camera. Ellis trying to go for the move. Actually, I think he makes the move without issue. Fudo goes a bit deep and trying to defend against the Supra, but I think he could not do much there. He is in P9. Let's have a look further back. Maybe a few moves being made here. Sorry for that. Have an issue. Alright. Okay, there's a bit of a run-in here between Ellis and Michelle. Let's have a look. Approaching the corkscrew, the BRC driver gets a good run out of the corner. One of them maybe missed a braking point, or maybe Michelle went a bit deep. Let's have a look. So Michelle brakes normally, and it's just Ellis who I think brakes a little bit too late there. Luckily, no damage I believe for either of them, and that will open the door for Fudo to go for a move here. Fudo trying to go for the move. I think Nico has a penalty. He exceeded track limits somewhere. Let's have a look. Rizvi will have an easy pass compared to the other time we would have had to. Everybody going a bit deep there through that corner. I don't think that's the ideal line through there. But up front, in any case, it looks like Gumb and Blade Runner are having a little battle of their own. Gumb trying to chase after the Renault driver. Further back, Michelle and Ellis. They came to blows at the corkscrew. I hope nothing similar happens this lap. I see Fudo had another bit of a moment there. He is not enjoying his time. Once again, that's another off-track excursion. And so does Nico, and Kid Dewsbury have the same moment as well. So cinematic camera will reveal all. That is Fudo going off the circuit. This is Nico going off the circuit, and I think Dewsbury had just dipped his wheels onto the sand there. No issues with that. Inorganic trying to go for the move there. On the inside on his teammate. They're gonna go almost side by side, but I don't think anything's gonna happen on this occasion. Abhi trying to go for a move there on the Aston Martin driver. I don't think he can make it stick on this occasion. Up front, let's have a look. Somebody's gone very wide there. That is Ellis. In his pursuit of Michelle, he has exceeded track limits significantly, or maybe just missed his braking point. What's happened here? He clipped that curb. Yeah, that inside curve is a bit of a trampoline in some cases, and he gets a penalty and has damage. That is a double whammy for Ellis here. Left to recover time and recover some, and he lose some time in trying to recover as well. Let's have a look at the rest of the field here. Riusbeer and Nico. So I think there were a few run-ins with Nico for a couple of drivers throughout this race. Let's see, going into the corkscrew, what's going to happen here between the Aston and the BRZ. I think it is going to be, it's a simple racing incident. I don't think there's anybody to blame here for that outright. Inorganic trying to go for a move. And I think he's going to make it stick. Nico goes very deep once again onto the gravel there. Abhi trying to go for a move on the BRZ. Can't make it stick. IGF is a race of his own, and I believe we have lost one driver. Not entirely sure who that would be. And missing my bearings here. So this is a nice little battle here for P10. This is points. So let's see what Inorganic can do. Can he get past his teammate? Or will it be Nico staying ahead for the time being at least? He seems to be struggling a little bit with this BRZ around this circuit. And let's see if anybody dips the tires into the gravel. Not on this occasion. Inorganic gets very close to Nico though. And he clips that little curve there. That may be a bit of an issue. The field up front is a little bit spaced out. So not a whole lot to cover over there. Michelle having a moment just as I switch to him, and that is a spin. An unfortunate spin for Michelle, and he rejoins, and that may have been a bit of a scare for Ellis. What about Nico? That is a bit of a sad series of events for Michelle. I think it was Nico who may have had a bit of a moment there. So here's Michelle having a bit of a spin. And I think there's a yellow flag there. Let's have a look at Nico. Did he get any damage from that? I don't think he did. Yes, indeed. That is very painful. He was running in P6 as well. That seemed to be going pretty well for him. And there's another yellow flag. Am I missing a bit of action here? Sorry. Camera angles. Oh, that is Apocalypse who's had a moment there. I think he was the first driver to pass Michelle. Just trying to put the power down. I think he went onto the gravel there, and in his bid to recover, he has spun. He is facing the part of the racetrack which he just came across, and he has hit the wall, caused himself some damage, and that may be problematic for a few drivers who are trying to rejoin here, especially Michelle and IGF. Apocalypse with a very unfortunate spin there. And let's have a look here. I see the BRZ trying to go for a move on Inorganic. Gets a much better exit to the last turn. And I think it's the outright speed of the BRZ which is really going to do it no good here. This is going to be the start of lap 6. And that is going to be Riusbeer attempting another move into turn 1. Let's see what he is able to do. Riusbeer, I think he's just able to hold position there. Inorganic against Riusbeer. Abhi not having a very good race himself. P11, if I'm not wrong from what he had said, he was really struggling around this track on this configuration. Wow. Somebody doesn't know the controls, it seems, for GT7. Up front, yes, the field is rather spaced out. As I say that, Denos has caught up to Gabo. To the corkscrew we go. Gabo is, I think he's struggling a little bit with tires, is he? His front right's a little bit more worn as compared to Denos. As Ellis is onto the gravel there, whatever happened there, let's have a look further back. Inorganic and Nico very close. I don't think he's going to attack his teammate there. That would be rather problematic. Let's have a look at what happened to Ellis. Through the corkscrew we go, and he just missed his braking point, I think, there. Goes across the gravel, comes back on track, still behind Kudo. Kudo having a bit of a quiet race. 7 goes for Ellis. For the back, let's have a look at this battle. Inorganic trying to go for the dive there on Nico. These two are racing. They're not racing in a manner that would cause them any grief, but they are losing time, as you can see. Case in point there. Riusbeer trying to go for it. move, and Inorganic misses his braking point, and there is Michel, that is Rizbe's teammate there. Inorganic on the off the track there. Abi trying to go for the move. The two BRCs ahead of him. The Ferrari has the outright speed on the straights, but I think the BRCs will have it for the time being at least. Brakes reasonably early, trying to avoid some contact there. Abi IGF onto some gravel there. Rizbe struggling. Abi may go for the move here. Let's have a look via the cinematic camera. Abi hangs back for the time being. Not looking to go for a move. Right there, up front, I think Michel should catch up to Nico by the time we get to the corkscrew. Rizbe is not having a very good time, and I think Abi may be under threat from IJF here. IJF trying to do a bit of a recovery race here, the ambulance Lamborghini, and I think as pointed out, Michel has caught up to the back of Nico. He's clipped a bit of stand there, I think, on his tires. Nico, I think Michel will have to hang back for the time being. Michel, after that very unfortunate spin, will have to do a bit of a recovery race. If he finishes where he is right now, he will start P2 in the feature race. Although, to be very honest, I can't really remember where he started in the feature, so we will have to look at that as we see Ellis and Fudo engaged in the battle. Fudo trying to go for the switchback, trying to go for a move down the inside, and I don't think there's a lot Ellis can do about that. Fudo had the move completed. That's a great move by the Audi driver in the rich energy livery car, but I think Ellis is still going to want to come back for more. Going through this right-handed turn, there's the squeal of rubber as both drivers pushing it to the absolute limits of the car. I think we can see that from Ellis literally there. A little loss of temporary loss of control. Michel trying to go for the move. Nico defends it well, and Michel won't be able to do much here. Let's have a look further back. I think Abi's had a bit of a moment. Let's have a look if it was during the corkscrew, I think. Yep. So following Rusbier in P11, Abi 274. Let's have a look at him, the cinematic camera, and that is, it's a simple loss of control there, but a very costly one at that. He is down in P13, and I think he was just having a few issues trying to come back on track, down in P14. So let's get back to the battle up front here between Nico and Michel. Approaching the corkscrew once again. Overtaking is prohibited. I see yellow flag. Something happened further ahead, I think. There was a stray yellow flag for no reason, I believe. Can't find out what's the issue there, so I think we're going to carry on. Oh no, it is Danos who has had a moment there, chasing after Gabo. They were very close, and loses the rear end and hits the wall, picks up a penalty and damages his car. That is the unfortunate trinity of things to happen there. Danos, he will lose a lot of time and a few positions as well, I think, in the process. Ellis, he can see that Danos has a penalty at this point, so I don't think he's going to risk making a move anytime now. Or will he trying to go around the outside? Is he Ellis? That opens the door for Fudo, and that will be very costly. I don't think Ellis should have gone for the move there. That was a rather untimely move to make, given that the driver ahead does have a penalty. I think Danos still suffering from the damage. Fudo simply outbrakes him there, and there is massive contact between Ellis and Danos, and that is super unfortunate because Danos now has to serve his penalty as well. Nico is a bit too far back. Michel is not able to get past the Aston Martin. I was expecting him to be able to get past. Let's see, maybe he can do it before the end of the race. Inorganic and IJF battling it into turn 2. Let's have a look who's the last of the late breakers. I think it will be IJF who holds on this position for the time being. Inorganic can't do much here. Apocalypse was trying to stage a bit of a comeback here after that little off-track excursion. Let's have a look. Here goes Michel on the Aston Martin, and I think that may have been a move, a few corners in the making there. Michel got a very good exit. That is the power of the BRZ. Outright, it is the best car in the corners, and I think that was a good move by Michel to get ahead of Nico, and that move by Michel may just have helped his teammate here, Rios Beer, who may be going for a move, will he? Providing he gets good traction, he may be able to stage a move on Nico, going into the corkscrew or something. Let's have a look. We do have a full track map there, which I'm not really looking at for incidents and such. Let's have a look. Nico hangs on for the time being. Let's see if that move had unsettled Nico any bit. What about Rizbe? Can he go for a move here? I don't think he can. Is it too far back? GSR IJF in the Lamborghini. There's a yellow flag. I see a car who has gone off the track circuit. Is that Danos once again? I think a very unfortunate bit of lap 9 and 8 and 9 have not been very kind to him, and he has lost a few more positions. That is very, very unfortunate to see, and he comes out just ahead of his teammate IJF, the two GSR cars, and I think IJF had to take some evasive action. They're trying to brake for that turn. He would have run into his teammate there, but this is a nice 4-car battle here. IJF, Danos, Apocalypse and Inorganic. Let's have a look at who's going to come out on top. I think Danos may be looking to go for a move on his teammate. That will lose the pair of them time, and that is Apocalypse in the Audi making contact with Danos. Does Danos have damage? He is not. Luckily, so Apocalypse onto the gravel there. That will open the door for Inorganic to go for the move, and very unfortunate events there unfolding for them as we are still trying to set after Nico. Maybe he's going to go for a move. I think he has to. When you're so close to another driver, you have to go for the move there. But I think Nico just was able to outbrake him there. Good defensive driving from Nico. IJF and Danos under threat from Inorganic and Apocalypse at the same time. This is not a situation any driver really wants to be in at any time. Getting attacked from two sides. Apocalypse and Danos going to go side by side towards the corkscrew. Let's have a look at what happens to the pair of them. Once they exit the corkscrew, I think they're going to hold position. Nobody's going for any audacious moves there. I think Danos got a little bit unsettled by having Apocalypse that close to him. Lost a little bit of time there. And he hangs on to his position. Danos in P11, Apocalypse P12, Inorganic in 13. Then Abhi is having a bit of a lonely race in P14. Having had a few spins there. So let's have a look. Front, any battles going on here? I think this is the only battle going on track at the moment. Apocalypse trying to go for a move on Danos. Let's see what he can do. The Audi driver versus the Lambo. Both of them dip their wheels onto the sand there, and I think Apocalypse may have done something similar on this occasion as well, as I see Rios Beer as well trying to get past the Aston Martin. So the two BRZs have chosen the same corner to go for a move on the Aston Martin. That is a rather uncanny coincidence. Riosby are trying to go for the move down the inside. Let's have a look at him. Everybody's squirming around, and that is Nico losing another position to another BRZ. IJF may be looking to go for a move here. Senses an opportunity. Nico moves a little bit before the braking zone. Should not be an issue ideally. And there you go. That is Danos as well looking to go for a move. I think he will make it stick. GSR Danos. And there you go. Nico losing a lot of positions and multiple cars I think going off track. No, that is only IGF. That was a very unfortunate moment there. Let's have a look at what unsettled and did he make contact with someone? I don't think he did. That was just a bit of late braking. That is a full spin there. That is going to be very detrimental, obviously. Abhi goes past IGF, who is now down in last place. Danos and Nico still engaged in battle. Nico going for the dive there. Oh my word. Sorry for all this camera angle mishaps here. Not most experienced with this camera angle. Let's have a look from Nico's point of view. What happened here? Danos, I don't think got the best exit there. Nico just sensed an opportunity, went for it, and there's contact there. And you can see his front right is absolutely in shambles at this point. There is not a whole lot that he can do. I think doesn't have a lot of control over his car. Wheel is rather spaced out as Gabo takes a little dip onto the gravel there. And let's see. Did I miss something here? This is a 4-car battle. Nico leads, Danos leads, Inorganic leads Apocalypse. Let's have a look into the last turn. Are we going to see any moves being made? Audacious moves, late braking. I think it's Apocalypse going for the move here on Inorganic, who went a bit deep into that corner. Gonna get into the slipstream here. That is the ideal thing to do. I think Danos is doing something similar. It is the last lap of this race. Will Danos go for a move here? He may as well, but I don't think there's a whole lot he could do. Apocalypse outbreaks Inorganic. Let's have another look at that. Inorganic, I don't think he needed to break that early. I think he broke really early there. Apocalypse getting into the slipstream here of the Aston Martin. Not a whole lot that Danos could do there, but what about Apocalypse? I think Inorganic breaks rather early. That opens the door for Apocalypse, who makes the move into P11 and he's now knocking at the door of the points. Let's have a look at whether he can make a move around the outside, down the inside. What does he fancy? He fancies a bit of airtime there, going over the curb. And once again, Nico at that very turn having another issue. We will have a look at cinematic camera because that seemed like much more than a bit of light contact there. Let's have a look. Nico once again, the threat, and Danos going for the move here. Contact there. Nico losing a position to Apocalypse as well. Danos and Apocalypse both dipping their wheels onto the gravel there, and the race has finished for the race leader. Let's have a look at that. So there you go. Simba has finished in P1. Blade Runner will finish P2. I think we will keep focusing on the battle further back there. Because this is really enjoyable, to be very honest, the battle for P9 here. Blade Runner finishes in P2. Gump will be P3. Danos goes onto the gravel there and he's made contact. Oh no, that is supremely unfortunate for Danos. Was running in a good position in the points, P10, and I think that is not Nico's fault. Sorry, not Inorganic's fault whatsoever. And here we see RB trying to go for a move. Can he get the pair of the Aston Martins? Will he hang back for now? Nico and Inorganic, they make contact through the corkscrew there, and Nico has to cut the corner. RB rejoins, and he's got a bit of a push here. Yellow flag. Whatever's happened up front to Reusbeer. He was having a bit of a quiet race, and that is just dipping your wheel onto the gravel there. Super unfortunate. I think he only lost the one position though, so should not be much of an issue. Apocalypse just almost grazing the side of the BRC there. Michelle has finished in P7. We will have a look in the final classification in a little bit of time. Let's have a look at this. I think RB decided to back off there. Danos and IGF, unfortunately, on row 7. They've not had the best of races here. And there you go. RB could not make the move on the pair of the Aston Martins. And there you go. So it is going to be Nico who is going to start the feature race on pole position. Reusbeer is going to be P2. Apocalypse in P3. Michelle in P4. I think we'll have a look at the complete order in a moment there. Danos, unfortunate race for him, finishes in P13. IJF, it's a bit of a disaster there for the Lambo boys. They're going to be P13 and P14. That's where they're going to start for the race as well. So there you go. We haven't given much airtime to the top few. They really just ran away, honestly. So not a whole lot to cover for them. Gabo, a bit of a quiet race in P4. We can see he's not too far back from the leaders there. Ellis in P5. Another quiet race. Had a few off-track excursions, a few run-ins there, but he is P5. Fudo in P6. Michelle P7. Very good recovery after that spin, I must say. It could have been cause for a lot of problems, but Michelle navigates it well. Apocalypse was in P8. Reusbeer P9. Had a little bit of a spin there at the end. He would have been P8 otherwise. And Nico P10, despite having almost no front right tire. And Inorganic in P11, the two Aston Martins, Linus Stern, 10th and 11th. RB in P12, Danos 13th, and IGF rounds off the sprint. There you go. Thank you to Michelle for uploading this replay. We shall now switch over to the feature race, which should be quite interesting as well. I need to switch over to this. There you go. I should have saved it on my... Am I in the right country? Yeah, Laguna Seca, there you go. Alright. There you go, that's the feature race. Thank you, Michelle. uploading the feature race. There you go. And while it downloads, you can let us know how the sprint was for you in the comments. All the tier 6 drivers who are watching the stream right now, any spectators who would like to chime in, give their comments. But there you go, we are going to have a look, so we're not going to stand there for long. Sorry for that, I wanted to avoid showing the final classification there. And alright, with that in mind, let us have a look at the tire selection and what the drivers decide to do. Microphone is a bit quiet, is it? Thank you for pointing that out. I will change that right away. I've increased it by a click. Do let me know if it is better now. So, as we saw in the sprint, Nico finished P10. He inherits pole position for the, well, not pole position, but it's the, he's going to be heading the field. Thank you, Tap. Nico is going to be heading the field into turn 1 in this 29 lap race for around Laguna Seca. Nico in P1 is on the hards, Riosbeer on the mediums in the BRZ. I think that's a good decision by Riosbeer there. Apocalypus in P3 on the hards, Michel in P4 on the medium. So the two BRZs opting to go for the medium tires. Fudo in the Audi is also on the mediums. Ellis has chosen a bit of an alternative strat here on the softs. He's the first of the drivers on the soft. Let's have a look further back if anybody else has opted to go for the softest compound. Gabo in P7 also on the hards. Gumb on the mediums. Blade Runner on the hards. Simba on the hards. That was a bit of a spirited call by me. I was a bit not entirely sure whether the mediums or the hards would have been the ideal tire to go for. I opted for the hards in the end. Inorganic is on the hards as well. Abhi on the mediums, opting, the two Ferraris obviously opting for a slightly different strategy. I think that's what we did most of the season as well. Denos on the mediums, IGF on the mediums as well, and Jaden on the hards, rounding off the grid. So it is only Ellis who is on the soft tires in the Supra. I think he's the only Supra as well throughout the season. Was it the case? In any case, that is... Let's have a look at the race start now from the eyes of Nico. We are going to be in cinematic camera, and there you go. So the lights will be coming on anytime now, and there you go. You can hear the lights go off. That is the race start. Nico leads away comfortably, no issues there. I think there shouldn't be any issues. I see two BRZs getting away without any issue. Any issue there, sorry for that. Michel trying to go for a move there on the Audi of Apocalypse, and there's a bit of a gap there further back behind Gabo. Let's see, Michel makes a nice move on the Audi there of Apocalypse. I think let's have a look from the camera here. I think I'm going to stop swapping cameras so frequently. That is that I'm doing. Michel goes for the move. I'm just going to change my audio mix here. I think there may be a bit of an issue here in regards to my audio and in regards to my switching of the camera angles. I'm a bit used to F1 for that. Sorry if I am a bit not so good. So yes, indeed, this was something that did happen. I'll point this out. So this is further back. I think, yeah, there you go. Gumb being given control at the worst possible time. He's lost a lot of momentum there, as we can see there. I think he's given control at the turn and he just didn't realize it in time. So bit of an issue there. As we see the Ferrari and the Renault side by side, the two red cars. I'm going to stick to this camera angle here to showcase what happened. There's a bit of a run in here, and that is, I put my hands up, that is on me. I did apologize to Blade Runner for that. I was caught off guard by the race start as well. So there you go, a mildly chaotic start. I won't say it is the most chaotic start outright there. Nico bouncing over the curbs there, and Michel trying to go for, not that serious, we're trying to go for the move. Nico can't do a whole lot there. BRC has the better braking and turning, and Michel may also be looking to go for a move here. and I think he will make it stick. Nico won't really be able to outbrake the superior turn-in of the BRZ, and they almost make contact, the two teammates there, Michel and Riesbeer. Apocalypse was trying to go for a move on the Aston Martin. He's been run into the back there by his teammate. Fudo? I don't think that's his teammate. I keep making that mistake there. Sorry for that. The two Audis and the two BRZs side by side, the same piece of tarmac, and that is Riesbeer, who's had a pretty bad corkscrew section there. Let's have a look from the cinematic camera here. He missed his braking point, let Nico pass, came back on track and was right alongside his teammate. There we can see the two Audis banging wheels as well, and just went off track. I think he ran out of room there on the track, and I believe, if my memory serves me right, there's going to be a bit of a moment here for Michel, who has gone for a move outright, missed his braking point, I believe. Let's have a look here from Michel's on board. That is Riesbeer losing it, and for the back there's Gabo, who is rather quietly trying to go for make his way up the field, and Michel missed his braking point there, goes very deep onto the gravel and has to come back on track, loses the rear end, and there you go. It's a very, very, very unfortunate way to go about it. Luckily, I think he is aware that that is a rather scary place to be on track, as Jaden has a penalty. Let's have a look if he picked it up in the recent past. Was it track limits? I think that was the corkscrew. So let's see here. On board from Ellis, who is on the soft tires, he has to make up positions rather quickly. No worries. Michel, I think you had a good comeback towards the end of the race, if I'm not wrong. I remembered that spin. It was rather surprising to see you off track there at the race start. Ellis trying to go make some moves here, and he's gonna make one on the BRZ of Riesbeer, and Simba has caught up to the back of the back here as well. Up front, who is that going very wide? That is the Aston Martin of Nico. Was there contact between Fudo and Nico? Nico going a bit wide there. I think there may have been some slight contact. No, that was just Nico having a bit of a moment with that curving there, and off track, rejoins just ahead of Gabo, who will get ahead of the Aston Martin driver, and I think Apocalypse will follow suit, as will Ellis, trying to go for a very, very opportunistic move there. The Aston and the Toyota very, very close. That is major, major contact, and that has to be reviewed in third person. Wow. So Ellis going for the move there, that's a nice move there, and let's have a look. So there's some bodgy here, and Ellis loses control, and oh my god, Riesbeer. Oh, you have to feel for him. He was in a good position as well, and right behind him is the Ferrari. That there you can see up front, a bit of bodgy there, and he was just an innocent bystander here, just caught out there, and he has been spun around and has damage. I believe that is engine damage as well for Riesbeer. That is extremely, extremely unfortunate there. Sorry for the extra rewind there. But in all this, that is promoting Simba and Blade Runner into P5, P6. Yes, Nico had a bit of a malfunction there. I remember that from the chat immediately after, and Riesbeer really in an unfortunate position. So a lot of action going on. I'm focusing on this. Yes, indeed. Well, this race, I think we'll have to set aside a separate category for Monza here in that case, as Ellis on the softs, not the best way to have a race start go, as multiple drivers having to avoid contact there, one of which was myself. There you go. Nico not having the best of runs through the corkscrew there, under threat from the Ferrari. Up front, let's have a look. Gabo and Fudo. We are not going to focus on the battle for P3, we're going to focus on the battle for P1. Fudo and Gabo. Fudo on the mediums, Gabo on the hards. Let's have a look. Will Gabo be able to outbrake Fudo? He tries to go for the switchback, but I think his line was slightly compromised through the last turn there, as Apocalypse is driving a bit on his own there. Gabo may be attempting a move into turn 2, I believe this is. The Apocalypse gets close, but can't do a whole lot there. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for that. Really appreciate it. Gabo trying to attempt to move on Fudo. Yep, once again, I should not be changing camera angles this often. Let's have a look at, I think it was Blade Runner who was able to get very close, or was it me? Can't remember. I think there was a move on lap 3, somewhere in the midfield. So that is Nico going slightly deep there, and myself, I was looking to size up a move on Nico. He was driving quite well. At this stage in the race, up front we can see here Apocalypse and Gabo very close. Apocalypse having to hang back for now. The Renault Gabo was very strong in this race, from my memory serves me right. And there you go. This is me trying to go for a move. I almost lost it there. Lost the rear end. It was a little dicey to judge. With my region, it's a little difficult to judge the braking points and all because of the lag. Up front, let's see what Apocalypse can do. Everybody gets through without any issues. Nico having a little bit of movement there. And that is Blade Runner. Now, whatever happened to Blade Runner that gave him a 1-second penalty? Was it corner cutting at a previous turn? Let's have a look. May well have been. And make out. Oh right, that is a bit of track limit extension there for Blade Runner. That will award him with a 1-second penalty. And there's a lot of tire squealing there from Blade Runner. I think was a bit upset there. Not as much as inorganic though. That is not the line you want to take through the corkscrew. Let's have a look at him. Does he brake late? Oh, that is some contact for Gumb, I believe. I think inorganic just got a bit distracted there. That is going to open the door for Danos. Let's have a look at Gumb. What happened to the Porsche driver there? Chasing after Avi in the other Ferrari. Misses the braking point entirely, locks the rear, and yeah, that has to really hurt. Especially when he was in a good position. I think he was in P8 chasing after Avi there. Or P9 it was. Inorganic losing a bit of momentum, losing a bit of time in P9, and whatever's going on here for Nico. I believe I made a move on him. He picked up a penalty through the corkscrew, I believe, for exceeding track limits. So he went a bit deep there, and that is going to allow Blade Runner to come close, but the pair of them have penalties. So what happened here with Nico and Blade Runner? Oh, nothing happened. Sorry for that. So Abi is going to get past the pair of them as Nico's wheel was really malfunctioning here. As you can see there, because that's not the ideal line to take. Abi trying to go for a move on the Aston Martin. He was not able to make it stick in the sprint. Can he do so in the feature? Blade Runner now behind the other Ferrari. Organic, let's have a look. So Michelle staging a comeback here after that very unfortunate moment on lap 1. That was it's almost burned into my memory how scary that was to see a car on the side of the track. Nico with a massive movement there. He had a penalty and I believe he picked up another one and had a spin there. So let's see, was there contact between Abi and Nico? Abi going for the move down the inside, and nope, that's just Nico completely missing his braking point and rejoining and having a half spin, multiple half spins actually. Rejoining and he is down on P11 and he has disappeared. That's not the ideal thing to happen to a driver, to disappear from the circuit outright. I think yeah, he had a bit of a connection issue. I think he just disconnected, left the race after that wheel problem. Now we see Blade Runner chasing after Abhi, and if I'm not wrong, there's gonna be a rather good battle. It's always a bit odd to refer to yourself in the third person firstly, and also then to say that you were involved in a good battle, because that is obviously subjective. But it's a three-way battle for the lead. We will come to that when it does happen. We will keep checking the full track map as and when it happens. Let's have a look at battle here between Gumb and IJF. IJF struggling. I think the Lambo was not particularly good around this configuration. Gum and IJF, and that's just a bit of close racing there between the Porsche and the Lamborghini. Let's have a look at Blade Runner and Abhi. What's going to happen here between the pair of them? They are very close on track at the moment, so we may be seeing a bit of racing action between those two. Apocalypse in a race of his own at the moment. Not a whole lot to say for his race. Abhi, he has an unfortunate moment a bit later on in the race. Blade Runner still chasing after Abhi. Thanos. So there you go. The audio mix should be a little better now. Michelle in P8, chasing after Thanos. Up and down the field. So that he's still catching up to the leaders. Leaders are not separated by much, but there's not a whole lot going on at this point up front. Yep, indeed. Kudo, you were really quick in this race. That was really fun to race with you and Gabo. This is one of my highlights of my season. As I see, there you go. Abhi did have a moment. And yeah, there you go. Audio's better now. So something with the audio mix there. Abhi having a bit of a moment there. He did exclaim this on the party chat as well. Going off track, letting Blade Runner get back into P5. What about Thanos? I think he also made the move on out of Ferrari, and through the last turn we go. Abhi losing another position, getting a better exit though. This is going to be side-by-side action for the two Italian teams, Lamborghini and Ferrari, of course. Not very far from one another in it. And a bit of wheel banging there. Statement of intent maybe from Thanos that I'm not going to let you go that easily. Abhi hangs back for the time being. Michelle has now got up to Abhi. Kicking up a little bit of dust, trying to go for a move around the outside of the BRZ. I don't think he is. Up and down the field, not a whole lot going on. He's there. Exactly what's happening to him here, but I think the battle is about to begin for the lead. So it's going to be switching back and forth between the midfield and the leaders. Abhi with a good exit, Michelle with a good exit. Are any moves going to be made? Drivers, let's have a look up front. Thanos to the corkscrew. Let's rather be on board with Michelle to the corkscrew. Trying to go for a move on Abhi. I think that was just a bit of a statement of intent there to try to force Abhi into making a mistake. Michelle trying the alternative line there, getting a much better exit. I think they will still hold position for now, and I see a few changes in position for the lead. Let's follow this for the time being. Abhi going a bit deep there. Will that allow Michelle to get past? I don't think it will. That will allow Gum to get very close and potentially go for a move into turn 2 on Michelle, as he also picks up the fastest lap. Gum. Michelle outbreaks him and is so the order is as it was. Let's have a look up front. I think this is the lap when the action just started. So I think between lap 6 and lap 10 was when the three of us were rather close to one another. So here from the third person perspective, Fudo had a bit of a moment there. Gabo saw an opportunity and went for it, but he went a bit deep there. That is going to allow myself to get a little close. And I think there you go. That's not a whole lot happened on this occasion. Maybe on this lap. Lap 7, we go 3 wide into the last one. That's a bit of a spoiler there. Sorry for that. Is it a spoiler? I'm not sure. Fudo was having pretty good pace here. Kicking up a little bit of dirt there. Gabo losing the rear end as well. Further back, let's have a look. Let's resume where we left off. Gum chasing after Michelle, kicking up a little bit of dirt as well. Abhi was really struggling at this point in the race, so I think there's a unfortunate moment going to happen here. Gabo and Fudo, we will switch our attention to the battle for the lead. Gabo trying to go for a move on Fudo. Did have a bit of moment there, or did Gabo just get a godly exit? I think that's what happened there for the Renault driver. He's looking around left and right trying to send the dummy, and he does go down the inside on the Audi driver, and there you go. That is the Ferrari going for the move as well. I think this is the iconic lap where all chaos went down. Let's have a look through the corkscrew. This is the top three in the race. There's Gabo, and there you go. Udo was getting a bit aggressive there. Props to him. There was a fair move. I think I left the door a bit too open there. A lot of contact between Ferrari and the Audi, and there you go. Down in P3 goes Udo drifting around. And why should I refer to myself as Simba or myself or the Ferrari? There's so many ways to go about it, but I think I will just use them all interchangeably. A little bit of late braking for myself and for Udo. And for the back, let's have a look at this. Inorganic has picked up a penalty, and I think we can clearly see why. That's on a cut there. It's back on track, and he is promptly awarded a half-second penalty. Abhi had a bit of a torrid time here. Yeah, there you go. I think chasing after Michel, he missed his braking point here, and oh no, was he tagged there by Gum? Yep, he was tagged there by Gum and off track, and that really didn't end well for him. Back on track in P11. It was a pretty unfortunate race for this one. There you go. Does he pick up a penalty as well? I don't think he did. Yep, he did. Right, so inorganic with that penalty, as we saw, for cutting the corkscrew. Sorry for that. And up front, there you go. Ferrari, Audi, Renault. Who is going to be victorious? Who is going to emerge on top at the end of all this? Apocalypse, will he be able to come back towards the latter half of this race? Blade Runner still chasing after the Audi. So these two are also showcasing pretty good pace here. Denos, I think he finished where he is right now. Denos P6, if I'm not wrong, had a reasonably race. Ellis on those softs, the gamble to start on those softs does not seem to have paid off for him, especially after that massive contact there on lap 2. And he is down P9, carrying on. I think he switches on to the hards. Sorry, but I don't think he really. Well, let's find out. Audi at P10. So, did Jaden have a moment? Sorry, not Jaden. Somebody had a moment. It was Audi at P10. I think somebody left the. I don't remember. In any case, not a whole lot of action going on at the moment here. Or is it? Have I spoken too early here? I think I have. There's a great battle here for P4 and for P1. So I think we'll focus on the battles for P4 for now, because they're a little closer together on track. Blade Runner and Apocalypse. Obviously both are on the hards. There is not a whole lot to separate them in terms of the tire compound. Up front, yep, not much happening there. I think there's a move for P2. We will have a look in some time. Blade Runner and Apocalypse very close. Let's have a look into turn 2. Are we going to see any moves being made further ahead? Right here, nope. I think everything's going to stay put as it was. Denos looking at the potential there. He's trying to go for a move. Not a whole lot we can do. Ellis carrying on for another lap. I think he can bring out another 2 laps from these tires. So maybe at the end of lap 11 we can put for the hard compound. So the battle for P4, this is the battle for P1, and I think it's going to get really feisty here on this lap at least. And there you go, Fuda going a little bit deep there. That is going to give me a lot of impetus to push and make the move on the Audi driver, who was putting up a very good competition here. Let's have a look. Blade Runner on the back of the Apocalypse. Shot as well. Not too far behind. Blade Runner. Let's have a look at this. I think there's going to be a move on this lap, is there? Gabo and Fudo. Gabo having a bit of a moment there. A little bit deep into that corner. That is potentially, I think it allowed Fudo to go for a dive into turn 1, which I think I followed suit with. And turn 2 we go. And Fudo very, very close to the race leader here. And picks up a bit of gravel there. A little disorienting at times when you're following the car who's kicking up a lot of gravel here. There we go, there's a bit of a battle here. Michelle and Blade Runner very close. Michelle going for the move, kicks up a lot of dirt and dust there. Side by side go the Renault and the BRZ, and that is Apocalypse completely off the circuit, and he will be promptly overtaken by the Renault and the Subaru. So that is double position gained. Let's have a look at Michelle. I don't think we were getting him a fair time here. Staging a comeback after that unfortunate spin. Michelle, let's have a look here. There's a slight tinge of contact there between Apocalypse and Blade Runner that allows Michelle to go for a move down the inside. That's a neat move there. Unfortunate that may have given him a bit of, lost him a little bit of time to Blade Runner, but there you go. Apocalypse going off all on his own. Nothing doing for the other two drivers. Down in P6, the Audi. Renault in P5, Michelle up into P4. That's a good recovery stage for him. Ellis still carries on. I think he may be able to get one more lap out of these tires, and I think this is the lap which we really need to have a look at. There you go. I think there was a slight bit of contact there between Fudo and Gabo. So going into the corkscrew, it was really interesting. Always a bit of a follow this, but there you go. Fudo, I think he slightly missed his braking point there. That gave the Renault driver a bit of a headache there as well. Trying to go for a move down the inside. The Audi driver makes the move, and Renault is still there, waiting for more. Over on the outside, there comes the Ferrari. This is the three-wide battle that I was talking about, and so we have a look in cinematic camera, also from my perspective. So there you go. So sorry. So this is what I could see here. This is Fudo and Gabo doing guns blazing, elbows out, and I tried to just brake a little bit early to get a bit of a switchback here, and this little by Gabo offset me, and I think I got past him here. So yeah, there you go. It was really fun in all these battles with Gabo and Fudo for the back, I think. Not a whole lot going on here. From the third person perspective. So there you go. I think this is a good perspective to have a look at. So that is a little bit deep there. I think the contact slightly offset Gabo there, not allowing him to get the best run through the corner. And yeah, Fudo is into the lead here, and I chase after him. He is really feisty on this lap, trying to go for a move on the outside. And props to him, very clean, very fair racer. Wasn't able to do a whole lot there. I think he was able to stage an offensive a little bit further on into the lap. Yeah, Fudo was really challenging to pass in this stage of the race, especially through the corkscrew and such. We will have a look at the mid-pack for now till we approach the corkscrew of the T-Bird. Everyone is reasonably well spaced out, so I think we will focus on this battle here for the time being. So, yep, I was trying to get a good exit and just stick as close to Fudo as possible. So, pushing the corkscrew, let's have a look at what happened on this occasion. A little early, I wasn't exactly sure of what's going to happen there, and I think I offset Gabo a little bit in that section. Yeah, this is where I assumed Fudo was a little vulnerable with his tires. As we can see there, his tire wear is a little higher than mine at this point. He's obviously on a softer compound. Gabo just falling for the time being. Maybe, yeah, he did go for a move there. And this was a bit of contact which he immediately left me by. That's my thanks to Gabo. If you can straight as well. Lost a little bit of time to Fudo, but nonetheless, that is, we have our first driver in the pit lane. That is Ellis. Let's have a look if he. So he maintained a respectable gap between himself and Inorganic as well, and he didn't lose a lot of time to Apocalypse either. So there you go. Ellis is going to box onto the hard tires, I believe. No question about that. Demos following Inorganic is gone a little bit deep there in that corner. We will switch over to Ellis a bit later to see which cars he's opted to put on. Use beer. Another driver is having a bit of a comeback race. IJF and Jaden tail end in the back are having the best of time there. As there you go, Ellis has changed onto the hard tires, I think, no doubt about it. Changing onto another pair of softs. We will come back to that in a bit. Let's have a look. He is on the softs. Alright. No, he's on the mediums. Never mind. Alright. So, yeah, I think we throw us in the battle for the lead for the time being. So, not a whole lot was happening here after that little contact with Gabo that made it a disadvantage. But there you go. Fudo went a bit deep at the corkscrew there. That is going to give me a bit of an opportunity. My friend was egging me on to go for the move. He just wanted me to send it, and I think this is what I actually managed to do. So starting lap 13, it was not much of a difference between myself and Fudo as I chased after him. And Tom still has the fastest lap. I think he went a bit deep here, Fudo. That gave me a bit of opportunity to use this lap for the next lap. I can't really remember. Not this lap. So still chasing after Fudo. To get past Michelle. So this obviously happened here, which I've not paid much attention to. Gabo chasing after myself and Fudo had a bit of a moment there. Michelle not too far back. Renault and the BRZ very close to one another. There's a slight bit of contact there between Gabo and Michelle. I think it didn't result in any damage for either of them. Obviously Michelle on the mediums will have slightly better grip despite his one tires at this stage in the race, lap 12. But as we end lap 12, Gabo chasing after the Subaru. The Renault does have very good straight line speed, and especially compared to the BRZ, I think almost any car will have better straight line speed. Go for a move down the inside. Willie, I think, yeah, that's Michelle braking a little bit too late, picking up a bit of dirt there. Blade Runner a little further back. We will focus on this for the time being. Battle for P3. And there you go, Gabo he's really not enjoying these tires, I think, at this point. After that little off at the corkscrew, his teammates not too far back either. Blade Runner having a bit of a quiet race in P5, Apocalypse in P6, and up front, this is where it's really started to get spicy here. So I think here I saw an opportunity to go for a move here, and Fudo was rather fair, aggressive but fair in his defense. So it didn't leave me with a whole lot of space, but I think that's completely fair. Into the corkscrew we go, there's no point going for a move there, that's just way too dangerous. And back here, trying to get a better run, but props to him, he had really good grip here at this stage in the race. Fudo. I was just chasing after him, trying to attempt to move for the race lead. I think once you get clear air, it's a little easier to go about your race. Of course, I think that is the obvious case. There you go. He didn't get the best exit out of the last turn here, so you can see here he will go a little deep into this corner. That will give me just a slight window of opportunity to go for a move here. There you go. A little bit deep. I see an opportunity, and this is something I just have to do. And I think I may have caused him a little bit of trouble there in terms of his radar, but I think that was fair racing. Going for the move there on Fudo. Put this drive onto the travel there, and there you go. There was no contact there. It was just good close racing. Unfortunate for him to go off track at that point. There you go. That is Ferrari into the lead, and now Michel chasing after Fudo. Gabo and Blade Runner not too far apart. Michel chasing after the Audi. So he has considerably better tires at this point. I think the BRC is just generally very kind of its tires compared to the other cars. That's really a big benefit for Michel and for Reus Beer. And into the corkscrew we go, and there you can see Fudo trying to fight it, but I think he will completely miss his braking point, and there you go. No point battling out into the corkscrew there, especially when you have a car so close to yourself. Fudo now in P4, Gabo in P3, and Michel P2, myself P1 on the hards. There's another few laps to our box. I think Fudo would have chosen the box lap after, so I think lap 15 is when he chooses to dive into the pit lane. So Apocalypse looked for a moment like he was gonna box. Oh no! Just as I was gonna say, that's Dino's doing. He's having a pretty decent race. Did he lose traction there going out of this turn, or did he just clip that trampoline curb? I think that's what happened here. No, he just took it deep there, left the rear end, and there you go. It's that easy to lose your rear end in Laguna Seca here and to rejoin. Abi having a bit of a quiet race here. From Janos, let's have a look. Inorganic has a penalty for cutting the chicken, I believe, is it? He picked up the penalty actually really early into the lap. No worries. Reus Beer has pitted on the hards. IJF is pitting from the medium onto the hards. I believe there's no doubt about that. Yeah, I think we will have a look. Danos, despite his damage, does not pit. Carries on. He wants to make the most of this car. I said before, switching on to the hards. I believe most drivers went onto the hards. So, I think that is the case. So, yeah, Michel was chasing after me at this point. It was really a challenge to keep him behind. He's a very good driver. Yeah, same goes for Gabo. Gabo and Michel very close to one another. Let's have a look through the corkscrew. Michel will get the better exit, but Gabo has beat a straight line speed. So they're still keeping Blade Runner at bay. And what's going to happen here between the Subaru and the Renault? Not much. What's going to happen in between the Audi and the Renault? Fudo, he is struggling with tires. That is, Blade Runner himself is struggling with not being able to back for that push. Let's have a look what happened here to the Renault driver. So, approaching the corkscrew, all seems good. All seems jolly until he missed his braking point, I think. There you go. And just going on the gravel there, that will open the door for Apocalypse, who is not really, he's a bit too far back. But yeah, I think Michel. I don't think I remember this race. I think it was back in mid-December, that's why I don't really remember it. All the pit stops and when people chose to box. But yeah, Gabo still chasing after Michel. It was lap 16 of 29. And the field is rather spaced out, and there you go. We do have somebody into the pit lane, that is Abi. He has a bit of fuel left. I think he just wanted to get off those tires. He had enough of it. And around Inorganic with his penalty. Abi in the box. Any battles going on anywhere on the track? Michel, did he lose the rear end a little bit then? Michel maybe he took the curb. Let's have a look at him. Onboard, nope, just the tires not giving him enough grip there, I think. Through that turn, because I would have expected him to take a slightly tighter line through there, staying closer to the apex. Fudo, everybody staying as they are. The field is really spaced out at this point. Abi onto those hard tires, I believe. Not a whole lot that he could do. Reus Beer also trying to stage a comeback here. Not a whole lot he could have done. Abi emerges out on those hard tires, and with it he will be able to finish the race on this compound of tire. Let's have a look up front if there's any battle going on, especially between these two, Gabo and Michel. Very close on track. But let's have a look to the corkscrew. This is where it's going to be really telling how different their grip levels at the moment. So Gabo is just able to pull the throttle down that much earlier than Michelle. I think just visibly you can see that. Just that the hards itself were not particularly great at this point in the race. I think Michelle manages to box there. There you go, Michelle into the box. And I think he will put on a set of softs. I can't remember what he did exactly. Fudo also in the box. So the two Renaults have stayed out. Both on those hard tires. Gabo and Laguna. The tires are reasonably good, Nick, and they are very close to one another in terms of tire wear as well. I have at this point somehow have slightly better tire wear in the Ferrari. So Michelle pits for the Gum carries on. He still has the fastest lap of the race at this point in time. Denos. So all the drivers above Denos all have to pit. Michelle is emerged in a good position. I think he did get P3 towards the end. Let's have a look. Fudo on those soft tires. That's a bit of a gamble, I think, from Fudo. The BRZ on those hards. I think Fudo will catch up to Michelle in 2 laps. Ellis, those mediums still like pick up a bit of dirt here and now, every now and then. Be down in P11. There's had a bit of a quiet race here. Let's have a look up front. What's going on with the Renaults, what's going on with the Ferrari? A whole lot is going on. So I think at this stage in the race, as you can see from the track map there, it's really not a whole lot of action going on the track. There's a lap car of IJF who was very kind to let us by. So props to him for not too much issues while he was being lapped. Apocalypse into the pits from switching on to the mediums, I believe. That was the only logical decision for him there. For Apocalypse. Up front, Apocalypse in the pit lane. It's a slightly longer pit lane. So we'll have to wait a little bit to see the Audi come into the box. Change of tires and top up of fuel. Fresh tires. Inorganic also into the pit lane. I think this is Abhi was able to get past Inorganic. He won't be able to get past Apocalypse. Mediums, there you go. So not a whole lot of doubt about that. From Michelle's point of view, yep, he did have a bit of movement here, Michelle. Trying to put the power down. I think Fudo being behind on those softs really wasn't doing him any favors there. It does play on your mind, you see the tire component of the driver behind you. And there you go, Michelle putting the power down a little too much or a little too early. It was just not enough. Tires just didn't have the outright grip to comply with that request, and he is lost the position to Fudo. So on those softs, I think we may have to box again from the end of the race. That is my one right, and there you go, I have boxed. I think Gabo did follow me into the pit lane. Yep, there you go. Gabo did follow me into the pit lane, as did Blade Runner. Yep, as did Blade Runner. Alright, so the top is using the same strategy there. Gumb on those mediums, he's taking those mediums a really long way, 18 laps. Then the Porsche itself was pretty good with the tire management as well, compared to the other cars. And I think he is also going to take this opportunity to dive into the pits. Nope, he does not. Stays out. Gumb staying out in the mediums, old mediums, as is Denos. Let's have a look. I think I came out just behind the pair of them. So, yep, I'm on mediums, as are Rambo and Blade Runner. Unless I did Blade Runner go for the softs, can't really remember too well. We will have a look right about now, and the moment of truth that is, and it is the medium tires, never mind. That's a bit opportunistic there. We expect everything to go on the soft tires. Nonetheless, we have a look at the field. So, Gumb has stayed out, and oh yeah, I was able to get ahead of Denos through the pit exit. I forgot that. So yeah, On those mediums, they've chosen to take these mediums a really long way, but they've done good fuel management. Gumb and Denos. Gabo in P4 is the most likely to inherit P2 at this point once everybody else has petted. Gumb and Denos. Udo in P5. The choice to go into softs, so I think he did mention it a bit later that it was not the ideal choice to go into the soft tires. Michelle in P6, being chased after by Ellis, who was in P7, so I think this was a good battle as well between the pair of them, Michelle and Ellis. Michelle using all the track and a little bit more, just enough not to pick up a penalty there, and Ellis trying to go for a move there. I tried to switch to a good camera angle, but it just didn't happen in the end there. Michelle not enjoying his time on those hards. He had that little spin, and now he is under tremendous pressure from the Supra of Ellis. Gum into the pits from those medium tires. I'm sure that's going to be for the soft tires at this point in the race. Ellis going for the dive. He had to. He saw the window open and he just had to make it straight. And there you go. Gum and Denos both pit from the mediums onto the softs. I think no doubt about that. And will Michelle be able to stage a comeback? Will Michelle be able to switch back? Will be able to go for a move on Ellis? I don't think he can. Those hards just not giving him enough purchase, enough grip on the track at this point in time, and he is going to be the threat from the Renault Blade Runner, who was showcasing some great pace earlier on in this road. Having a realism of Apocalypse at this point. Same goes for Abhi. I think Gumb and Abhi are going to come close on track. We will keep an eye on that a little later on. We see Blade Runner chasing after Michelle, who himself chasing after Ellis. So let's see. Oh, Ellis having a moment there, pretty massive moment, and that is going to cost him immensely, cost him dearly, as he is now down 2 positions, 26 from P4. Blade Runner chasing after. When can he make the move? Can he make the move on the Subaru driver? Have a look through the final part of the track we go. Final sector. Michelle still in P4. Although his tires are really starting to drop out there. I did have to box at the end of the race. Don't remember exactly. Ellis chasing after Blade Runner. The field is really spaced out. There's very few battles to focus on here. Gabo still chasing after me. He was giving me a good chase. Really challenging to keep him behind and maintain that gap. He's a very good driver. I think P6 next season better watch out. Provided he's in P6 maybe. Ellis. There I think we will do that. Ellis with that moment, chasing after the Renault and the BRZ, lap 21, and find out whether Blade Runner can get past the BRZ here. Will fast forward a little bit because there's not a whole lot going on the track. Here we go, approaching the corkscrew, taking up a bit of dirt, Michelle. Ellis getting a much better exit compared to the Renault. Toyota versus Renault. I think the Renault is gonna hang on for the time being despite Ellis coming very, very close on track. So look through the last sector. Up front, I think it is still Kudo chasing after Gabo, but he will have to nerve his tires home. I think look at the state of his right hand side tires. He will have to box at some point. I think he just opted to do it a little bit too late. It wasn't the right call of Kudo to go on the soft. I think he mentioned that he made a mistake. He wanted to select medium, but he accidentally went right out of the other end. He wanted to go on the hards, but he went into the soft stuff. Something like that. Maybe he just wanted to go into the soft instead. But the right call in the end. Blade Runner still chasing after the BRZ, who has gone a little bit deep. Blade Runner himself into the there as Blade Runner gets a purple sector 1, and I believe I picked up the fastest lap at some point during all this. Michelle taking a little bit of word there. trying to disorient the Renault, is it? Interesting tactics, as said. Blade Runner getting much better instead of this one. He needs to nail this turn, and he'll have a much better run at Michelle. That won't be necessary, unfortunately. Michelle with a spin. Michelle having a very unfortunate few moments of this specific turn here. Michelle with the spin. Luckily, he kept it out of the wall there and did not pick up any damage or a time penalty. So he has tires a little hot right now, and he will lost his composure. But he is still in the race, still scoring some good points. So there you go. Now Blade Runner has been unleashed to set after Fudo, and I think they will do that. I see, yeah, further back, this is when the battle was going on between Gam and Abhi. Yeah, there you go. So I think Abhi went a little bit deep there, or maybe Gam just went for a bit of a move. He should move at this turn. Let's have a look. What happened here? Is there contact? Nope. Abhi just broke a little bit too early there, and that's led the Porsche up in P8. And Danos, will he go for a move into the corkscrew? The door is open, but no, he does not go for it. They're both rather slow through there for some reason. There. As Danos going for the move there, Abhi just not having the grip. He was really struggling on this track. Now in P10, and there you go, chasing after Michelle. He had a couple of spins, Michelle, but he's still in P7 in a good points going position. Gum a little too far back for the time being to make a move. I don't believe he'll be able to by the end of the race, despite being on the softer tires. Because his tires will also start to really wear out. Both these drivers are on softs, Gum and Danos, as we saw there earlier during the pit stop. Opted for the softs after going really long on the mediums. Abhi is on the hards. Really enjoying his time, the track, car, or the tires. Rio's Beer not having a very good time himself, as we can see, going off the track. It's just fortunate timing, jumping over the curb there. Rio's Beer giving himself a bit of airtime. Same goes for Gani going off track. Let's have a look at P2. Decides to mount the curbing there. He partly does. IGF a little too far back for the time being. Fudo and Blade Runner, I think Blade Runner does get the move made before the end of the race. Fudo's tires are completely short at this point. He have to box possibly by the next lap if he wants to have a chance at regaining some time, regaining a few positions by the end of the race. Ellis in P5 chasing after Blade Runner, still there. Apocalypse in a race of his own. Michelle, I think the spin really cost his composure there, and he's not really been able to do a whole lot right there on fourth. Let's see if we can do something towards the end of the race. We see Ellis rather close to Blade Runner. It is lap 24, and I think Gabo is a little distant, a bit of a good gap from Fudo. So have a look at Ellis. He looks to be in a good position as well, despite being slightly worn tires. He seems to be comfortable around this track layout. Let's have a look through the corkscrew we go, and Ellis could not get much closer to Blade Runner on that occasion. Fudo is struggling. I think this is the lap when he chose to box. He really didn't have much of an option. Oh, carries on. Alright, good call, given that the tires were in such condition. Blade Runner attempting a move. I think he will be able to make it stick as they reach turn 2. We will put the cinematic camera for this. Blade Runner, not even much of an issue there for the Renault driver, although Fudo is still there trying to hassle the Renault driver, red Renault, as opposed to the Brazilian Renault. Oh, that's close racing there between Fudo and Blade Runner. Fudo hangs on to his position, but he will have to. There is no grip, no pressure left in this. All this is going to open up a door for Ellis. Very close enough to Blade Runner to cause him a bit of headache. Let's see. Blade Runner still chasing after Kudo further back. I think there was a few there. We will switch to that in a bit. Let's have a look. Blade Runner through the corkscrew. What can he do? Fudo, I think he's got a punch. Has he? His career right is just about hanging on. But as you can see there, he's visibly struggling. He's drifting around, sliding around. That is not the way you want your race to go. To the right hander we go. Fudo will definitely have to box in this occasion. No, he is staying out. I think from what he mentioned, I think he didn't realize he was on the softs. There were a few things that didn't stay immediately after the race, which I can't really remember at this point. But yeah, he is on those really worn out soft tires, and Blade Runner, he is trying to size up a move on the Audi driver. He places his car very well, and I think he gets the better grip. Despite Fudo being on the softs, trying to go for the switchback here, and there you go. Ellis is attempting a move on the Renault. I think he will back off here. Or will he? Nope. Very close to making contact with the Renault, but safety clean. Blade Runner trying to go for a move. I don't think Fudo really has a whole lot to defend with at this point of the race. There you go. Blade Runner moves level with the Audi, and I think he will be able to make it stick. Or will he? Yep, that is Fudo onto the gravel, and wow, that we have to see that from Ellis's perspective there. So the two ahead of him are Linus Stern going into the left hander, going up the hill, and he just sees an opportunity and he goes for it. That is a very good way to go about it for Ellis. I think we'll have a look from this angle as well. I think Blade Runner lost a bit of composure while trying to recover from that movement with Fudo. Did he just lose grip there? Yep, I think he just lost the rear end. There is a tinge of contact there which offsets Ellis, but they keep the position, and Blade Runner picks up a penalty for track limits, I believe it is. And Fudo, with no tires, he will have to box. He's been caught by Apocalypse, and I don't think Michel's too far back either, yeah? Michel falling into the clutches of Gum, but there's enough of a gap for him to not be too worried about it. And Fudo carries on, so he did forget about his tire choice. I didn't realize it rather. There you go, Blade Runner having to serve his penalty. He is being slowed down by the game. Apocalypse getting past Fudo, no slowing down on this occasion, getting past the other Audi, and up into P5 goes Apocalypse. Michel in P6 and gets very close Fudo to the rear end of the other Audi. Having a quiet race further back, something going on here between Denos, Audi and Gum. Nope, nothing going on. Yeah, once again the field is very spaced out. This is the only battle on track at the moment. We will focus on this. LS, Blade Runner and Apocalypse all chasing after P3, who is going to emerge victorious. Apocalypse will need to avoid similar off-track excursions that he wants to inherit, or if he wants to challenge for that P3 rather. Blade Runner is looking best suited at this point in time given his tires, and especially will be, oh never mind, that is a perfect example of a commentator's curse. And oh no, I was gonna say with that moment from Ellis, that would have been giving Blade Runner some reason to go for a move here, but there you go, just dip your tires on the gravel ever so slightly, and that can cause you to lose all composure. That is very close between both the Audi cars. Let's have a look from Apocalypse's point of view. He can see ahead of him Blade Runner going off track, going onto the gravel there, and that has to be a very close shave. There you go. I should have switched the camera angle at that point. There you go. He would have been a little bit worried there about running into the Renault. Doesn't lift too much though. I think he just had he didn't lift actually at all. So Apocalypse was now in P4. Blade Runner taking a comeback from his little spin there, and Michel also going off track. So neither of these drivers really enjoying their time on track. Michel carries on, has a little bit of a moment there. I was going to mention why. There's a yellow flag temporarily. So Fudo on those softs, he has got a puncture rear right. His right side is completely gone, as is his left. Right, guys, and there you go. That's a complete spin for Fudo. No way for him to recover from that on this set. He will have to box. Yellow flag still persists as Gum catches up to the back of Fudo. A yellow flag once again. Whatever is happening there. Oh, that is. I think we will just give him a bit of airtime here because I think there's a lot of action that went on with with Fudo. So there you can see the two cars of Michelle and Blade Runner going off into the distance there. Let's have a look from Gum's POV as well. Maybe from Fudo's POV. Yep, losing the rear end. Was there contact between Gum and Fudo? No, I think there was just a bit of a scare for Gum. Getting a bit worried there. Danos getting through without issue. As a 2-second penalty. Abi in P10, he will get past Fudo. Danos is a little too far ahead. Despite the 2-second penalty, he will not be under pressure. Abi, it is lap 28. This is the penultimate lap of the race. Danos having to serve his penalty. He has fallen even further back from Gum. Michelle and Blade Runner are in a battle. I was just Blade Runner is very, very close to Michelle. Unfortunately, doesn't look like it went up very well. Very well for him. To turn 2 we go. Michelle going a little bit deep there. Blade Runner taking the inside line, the shorter line there. But once again, the tire is just not having enough grip. A little bit of contact, and that is damage for Blade Runner. Michelle just has to get the flag without issue. Indeed, it was really unfortunate. I thought that was going to be a battle to the flag, Michelle, between yourself and Blade Runner. But unfortunate that he had a risk. I don't think he was enjoying the mediums as much. That's allowed Gum to get up into E6. That's how I look at it. But Danos, can he do anything with in regards to Blade Runner? Blade Runner has a bit of damage. Not anymore. He will set after Gum trying to recover the lost position. Michelle's a little too far ahead, but maybe he can still get Gum. Gum is on significantly one tires, so I think this is the one opportunity that he will have. Blade Runner. Move, provided he can get good exits out of corners. Let's have a look up front. So yeah, that is myself. I didn't exactly get them chasing after. Is that my team? That is Fudo. Alright. So Fudo, who was in P3, he's unfortunate, very unfortunate end to his race to finish down in P12. There is myself chasing after him. Any battles going on that we need to look out for? But I can see Inorganic once again taking the alternate route through the box to there. Let's have a look at the cinematic camera. There we go, not having the best line through there and taking the cinematic route, alternative route. Maybe he'll get a penalty for that, will he? The game is rather inconsistent. Sometimes it does give a penalty for it, sometimes it doesn't. Inorganic picking up a lot of dirt there. He is on the verge of running out of fuel. The rest seem to be fine. Gum is also on the verge of running out of fuel. Michelle, I think the BRZ is pretty good with fuel, so you need not worry too much. And there you go, that is myself grazing the wall. That was unintentional, but there you go, that is P1 for myself. Gabo in P2, a great race for him as well. Thanks to him for that very fair battle and good racing. Ellis will get P3 at the end. Gabo with P2. Ellis in the Supra will get P3. So despite that very scary moment early on, he does recover to get P3. So, enough to him. Sorry about that. Yeah, Apocalypse in P4. Michelle will finish the race in P5. From a little further back, he got that position on Blade Runner with just a lap to go, and he will keep it. Blade Runner was not able to get back past the Porsche. Michelle in P5, Gum in P6, Blade Runner P7. Danos, despite those penalties, he has done the all-strap and he's got a good one. He's got P8. It's a respectable result by him. Abi in P9, got away from him. He was really upset at the end of this one. Reusbeer in P10, the other BRZ also in the points, so well done to Subaru team for scoring some good points here. at Laguna Seca. Fudo in P11. It's been a quiet race and he will weave across the line. There you go. Scenic route. Inorganic also. Oh, I think I missed something there. It wasn't as quiet as finish as I thought it would be. So I think, yeah, his stars are won there. I think Fudo just saw an opportunity right at the end there to go for a move on Inorganic and he makes it stick. So despite that moment earlier on with those soft tires, and Inorganic completely missed his braking point there. What he's trying to do there, but there you go. That is last lap. Fudo weaves across the line, and that is Inorganic. Did we lose a driver just before the end? I think somebody disconnected. Yeah, that's why we went from 12 drivers to 11 drivers. You'll notice it right now. Yeah, there we go. So that is the end of the Laguna Seca race. A good, fun race, and with that, we have another 4 races to go in this championship. Obviously, we know how it ends, but despite that, it's been a very good, fun season in Tier 6. We shall be back soon with the next race at Kyoto. So, thank you for all the drivers who tuned in to watch themselves in the performance on track. Thank you to all the viewers. And thank you to ALR for organizing these fantastic races. We shall see you soon. Until then, thank you. Take care and good day, good evening, good night, and bye bye.